Dunkin on Donnie, the podcast with Zen Zero and Ty.
Bye.
All right, hello and welcome to the show. I'm Zen Zero.
Ty Style in the house. Welcome to another episode of the
Dunkin on Donnie.
Exactly. As the madness turns, it's like a fucking soap opera.
It's worse than a soap opera.
You think? Have you watched many soap operas in your life?
When I was a kid, I unfortunately watched some of them.
Which one was it?
I don't remember the fucking names. Well, we watched, what's that called? I don't know if it's a soap. Dallas as one of them.
That doesn't count. That was more like a drama. You're talking about like As the World Turns and stuff like that.
Well, I'm aware that they existed because I saw some of them, but they weren't important enough for me to put them in my goddamn data bank. I didn't give a fuck.
Yep. But now
I
we're
I've
living through a soap opera.
Oh, that's the other one. What's that called? Beverly Hills 90210.
I don't think that's not a soap opera either.
Well, fuck me then.
The soap operas is the
I
ones,
know about soap operas, people.
they're the ones that's on in the daytime. And they've been running for like 30 years.
I
Like
know
since
they
the 70s
exist.
and 80s and shit. Yeah, it's insane.
Melrose Place?
No, those are, there's another kind of show. But either way, we're living through a soap opera right now. And it's like literally like the worst, unbelievable soap opera that you can imagine.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So we had another, I'm going to put this in quotation marks, assassination attempt. I personally believe that the official narrative is not exactly what reality actually holds. But then again, it's hard to prove. For me, specifically, it came at an opportune time, right after he'd been told that he couldn't deal with certain funding issues for his stupid ballroom. And he is looking at all-time low approval ratings in the United States. He has been dealing with this excursion, also known as the Iran War,
Which he really means to say incursion, but yeah.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, I know what he calls it, but I think the word he's supposed to use is incursion, but that's not important. Keep going.
Incursion, regardless, it's a motherfucking war. You can't not doubt that.
Exactly.
Can't deny it. You can call it whatever the fuck you want.
Yep.
It's guaranteed a war.
But back to this assassination attempt is not real. Why do you say that?
To begin with, I don't know if you read the manifesto from the shooter, which also other weird occurrences was that his name was published pretty much before the news outlets by some people connected to the White House, which was oddly fast. I don't know if you've seen the videos of the shooting itself.
I've seen some videos. I've seen some of the doctored videos. I've seen some of the AI enhanced videos.
Okay,
Yep.
So if we start off with, there is a video of somebody throwing a bottle at Donald Trump that also, funnily enough, got AI'd.
Time out. Throwing a bottle at Donald Trump during the same event?
No. This is pre this event.
Okay.
My point is, somebody threw a ball at him. This has been now posted as somebody yelling Allahu Akbar at him, but that never happened. What actually happened in the event was somebody threw a bottle at him. But this is my point.
At the same event or a different event?
Different event.
Okay.
He...
You're so excited today, bro. Too much coffee?
Calm the fuck down. No. What happened was when somebody threw that ball at him, his reaction was instant because he was fearing that something was happening. So he moved really fast and tried to get the fuck out of the way. And then people realized there was nothing really happening. So at this specific event, same thing when he got shot in the Butler event.
Okay.
He did go down, but if we're going to jump back and forth, there are some people who believe he ducked down to cut himself with a razor blade that he had in his hand.
Okay.
But moving back to this, my point was that when that ball was thrown at him, he actually reacted.
Okay.
Because he was unaware that that was going to happen. Move to this event, because this is on video, you can watch it yourself. You see him eating. There are 3 or 4 women around him at the table. You hear the shots fired, and the women are startled, and they look very frightened. He is looking bored out of his motherfucking mind. Didn't move a fucking muscle, and then they started coming in, and then they moved Vance, and then they grabbed him, and they took him down, and then they moved him out.
Okay.
So that is one thing. I watched that video, and I was like, that is odd that he didn't react.
But wait a second.
Let me continue talking before we move on to your questions.
But I'm going to forget.
Just write it down.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so that was one thing. And then when you look at the other videos of that event, the people in there, yeah, they did crouch down and they were like hunkered, but a lot of people played it off as it wasn't a big thing. This one dude keeps eating, and there's video of him just munching away like nothing happened. There's videos of people going back to take fucking booze because they were like, oh yeah, free booze, this is great. And then as this one girl that I sent you the video of, I might have posted into the group as well, as she points out, and in an assassination attempt, one of the biggest things is you don't know who else is around who might pose a threat.
Multiple shooters.
So what you normally do is you separate all the people in succession in the cabin. You separate them so they're not at the same place. But now, for one, in this correspondence dinner, every single one of them, Kash Patel, J.D. Vance, Trump, Hegseth, Rubio, all of them were this is in wartime. They were all in one place, readily accessible. That's one thing. 2, when they were moved out of there, instead of moving them to separate locations, they moved them to the White House, to the same location. So again, everyone in succession were moved to the same location. Not only that, there's then video of Hegseth smiling away, being very jolly right after an assassination attempt, which also, again, is weird, not proof of anything, but it's like if there was a real assassination attempt, one would think that the demeanor would be different. Now, secondly, or thirdly, whichever way you want, if you look at the videos, the one I posted in the group, this one is the one that's specifically odd. And this is what you said you weren't really understanding what was going on. So what you see in that video is, because this was broken by Yahoo News, this wasn't even reported by any of the news outlets, but they found a video. You see the shooter entering into a room. Directly after him, an officer with a K9 unit walks directly in there. The K9 unit pretty much goes in. You see the officer communicating.
Are we sure it's a room? It could be a hallway. It's just a door. I've seen the video. It's a
door.
Yeah, and
where he goes into
could be stairs.
Regardless of what it is, he goes in there to prepare, because this clip is not more than 20 seconds. It's very short. So what you see, and this is an unedited clip, so this is all one sequence. So what you see is this guy walk in with no guns on him, walks through that door, dog comes, guy comes, talks to him, pulls the dog back, and within a second of that, the guy with the rifle in his hand runs out and then storms. So that, to an observer watching that, is curious.
Very.
Now, further, if you read the manifesto from the guy, he specifically says this was his only chance to do this. And one would ask, why is this your only chance?
Isn't that where he lives? Wasn't it in the
No,
state?
he lives in California.
Okay.
He took himself from California across the country to go to the correspondence dinner.
Okay.
Further weirdness, Trump has not been to any of the White House correspondence dinners previously because he's been mocking them.
They've been mocking him, you mean?
They've been mocking him, but he has been mocking them for having this.
But that's what the whole White House correspondence dinner has been.
Yeah, I know, but he has refused to show up to these
Except
previously.
for this one.
Exactly.
But he changed the rules for this one.
he stopped having any of the comedians, and instead he had an Israeli mentalist there.
Well, you got to mention the fact that he's Israeli, though.
Because they all connect together. I know you don't want to fucking understand or listen to this, but that is, again, one of the oddball things that happen.
So you think the mentalist has something to do with this? Too?
No, I don't. I think when you put all of these things together, that he normally never attends these things, this one time he does attend, because this is where it gets even funnier, because at this correspondence dinner, the people were going to be presented prizes for, we'll have to look this up, but I believe it was about writing about the Epstein case. People were going to be presented with prizes. After this event has now happened, he is...
Wait, time out. So they were going to hand out awards for articles about people writing about Epstein at this event?
We'll have to look that up, because that's what I believe was...
That's what happens at these things.
They were going to give prizes to some of the correspondents there.
Okay.
And what has happened now is he canceled all of this, and then the next one that he's going to have, he has not invited any of these correspondents to come. So, further weirdness. Now, the question was, because he referred to himself as his friendly federal assassin, I believe, in his manifesto, which is, when you read the manifesto, it just reads weirdly. Like, why the fuck would you write all of this shit?
That's how he feels.
I don't give a shit about how he feels.
Well,
real assassins don't write manifestos. Real assassins go and shoot somebody.
Because then he's not a real assassin.
100%. So
he's just some guy that got pissed off, that decided he wanted to go and fucking strike out and kill Trump.
But he didn't. He decided the opposite.
What?
My point again, because he went to this place, and then in the manifesto, he is bitching about the poor security there and how...
He said he didn't want to kill security. He just wants to, he's going after the
security. He
members.
is bitching about how poorly secured the event was, and how surprised he was that there is no real security there, which is something other people were joking about on camera during the event, that it's so funny that nobody's actually securing this venue.
What I've noticed,
just
but you've been talking for a while. What I noticed is this, about all these assassination attempts, I think on some levels, the Secret Service, they know where the violence comes from. The violence is usually coming from the right, aimed at the left, usually. So I think now that you do have these loose cannons that's going around, that's just completely like this man says in his thing, he considers himself an American citizen, and he feels ashamed to be associated with what America has become. And that's something that most people with a brain right now can feel, can identify with. You know what I mean? And it seems to be the reoccurring thing. The same thing that happened with Trump, with the first assassin in Butler. The same thing that's going on with Charlie Kirk's supposed assassin. It's the same thing that's happening now. Regular people are just like, you know what? Fuck it. If I have to sacrifice my life to end this fucking chaos, especially when it's being done in my name, I'm willing to do it. That to me is the easiest, simplest explanation. Granted, that thing with the dog and the cop being there, very odd, very strange.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the Charlie Kirk thing, because when looking into that, that is more than likely not what actually happened, the official narrative. They couldn't match the bullet in the gun to the bullet.
That's misleading.
That's not misleading.
No,
that's
hold
exactly
on.
what happened.
They couldn't. There's many cases where they can't match the bullet to a gun. Because when you fire a bullet, it hits bone, it hits concrete, it hits lots of things. Just because it doesn't mean it's not a match or they can't match it, doesn't mean they didn't come from that gun. It's not a very
well. You're
thing.
just playing it off very safe now, because when you look into what actually happened, and I can bring this up in the 9/11 episode, because there's a lot of weird shit happening where it seems like what actually happened was his microphone exploded, which is hitting him from below up, which is a lot of people have seen that and have accounted for the same thing. And the other fact that his entire crew went in and removed a bunch of the things from the crime scene, which is the biggest no-no. You never touch anything in a crime scene. But they pretty much cleared it out.
We are very aware that as it is right now, the United States of America is being run by incompetent idiots. Never attribute malice to something that could be explained.
No, well, I am. In this point, I'm 100%. This is not incompetence. This was when you look at what happened. Because I have a lot of data for that we are going to bring up in a separate episode, because I want to have this printed out and written down so we don't have to discuss this with any form of inaccuracies, where I can show you exactly bullet point by bullet point why I'm saying what I'm saying.
But yes, and I agree that this information is out there. But to me, these things don't prove anything. They're just data points. And especially when you brought up this idea about the bullets not matching. It's like that's what like I've been trying so hard to find information on these assassinations. Like literally, like we agreed we would do an assassination episode this week. So I would say every day for the last 10 days, I've spent some time searching and looking into and trying to investigate, like who are these assassins? What have they done? What's happening with them?
So what did
Hold
you
on.
know?
And what I've realized is it's the fucking right-wing maniacs. It's the fucking Blaze TVs, it's the fucking Tucker Carlson, it's the fucking Megyn Kellys, it's the same people that were pushing QAnon, the people who just, they want to get their base riled up. The more confused their base is, the more confused their listeners are, the better off they are, the more money they'll make. These are the people that's pushing this.
Pushing what?
Pushing all these conspiracies, trying to connect these dots.
That's 100% not true.
Okay.
Most people with a brain right now are looking at these events, and that is not just from the right and or the left. It's most people in general do not have any form of, or they don't think anything that happens within the government is credible anymore. They've lost all faith.
Not.
So looking at these things...
But people trying to kill incompetent people makes sense.
No, but this guy that is the supposed assassin is highly educated. He has multiple, I don't remember if it's masters, 2 separate masters.
Exactly.
There's also weird things, and that he had a picture taken where people have identified the IDF logo on one of his t-shirts that got scrubbed off the internet.
Look,
you can say whatever you want. These are things
No,
that
but
are,
you're saying something that got scrubbed off the internet. Anybody can say, like we keep saying, anyone can say something used to exist. Oh, this thing that would prove me right or prove me it used to be there, but it's not there anymore. That's not really credible.
Are you funny? Are you joking? Because Israel has just removed tons of villages from both Gaza and Lebanon, which have been erased.
Yes, but we've had maps that go
They're
back.
gone off the maps
Of
now.
course.
Apple have been removing these villages off the map. So what you're saying...
We have human beings that have lived in those villages that can testify that these villages were there. But if you're telling me that one guy saw a picture of something...
It wasn't one guy, multiple people
A bunch of people have seen a thing on the internet that is now no longer there, it loses credibility because it's no longer there. If I see something, the easiest thing for me to do is take a screenshot of something if I think it's relevant, or if I'm going to be talking about it. Where is it then if it's scrubbed from the internet?
They have screenshots, which are, this is what they have, this is where I saw it. They've been showing
that's a very specific thing. For me, it is, we don't need much more than there is. If this whole thing with Thomas Crooks, so many people have been trying to dig in. Oh, he had encrypted messages being sent overseas. He had international bank accounts. The only people, okay, the New York Post interviewed some people and they started this thing, but their main source is a random investigator who is supposedly hired by someone who is secret. This is where a lot of this stuff is coming from, especially about that case. It's coming from a random investigator that's hired by someone who wants to remain anonymous. And then the New York Post picks it up, Tucker Carlson picks it up, Megyn Kelly picks it up, some left-wing people pick it up, and all of a sudden it becomes something. The more you dig into these things, you start to realize it's just people dying for attention, bro.
I don't agree with you
sides.
at all on that. It's the same thing with the Butler event that we were talking about, that I was showing you. One of the reasons that people don't believe that was a real event, even though somebody died, is mainly because of the discrepancies for how the Secret Service is supposed to handle an event like that.
Again, never assigned to malice what can be explained.
Yeah, but that's just your excuse for something that
is something
when you
that we
look
know
at it,
exists in life. without.
No, because once an assassination attempt happens, you do not let the president stand up again. You take him, you remove him, and he gets away from the event unscathed. So there's
In
no
a normal
other
situation when
Yeah, but
you
you
have
can't say that
competent
when
people.
No, you can't say that the Secret Service all of a sudden, in this case, have moved from being competent to being incompetent every time an assassination attempt happens. And that in and of itself isn't something weird.
Do we know about any Obama assassination attempts that made like international news? I'm sure there were some.
I don't remember having heard of anybody.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we don't know if there was an assassination attempt on him. I'm pretty sure
I know
that they would have reported that.
There were assassination attempts on him. There have been documented assassination
We'll have
attempts.
to look that up and put that in the
graphic
infographic
right here. But there have been assassination attempts on him. But at the time, the Secret Service did their job. It didn't get to the point where someone actually got to take a shot. It didn't get to the point where they're fucking wrestling some guy with no shirt on in the fucking thing. Why? Because they had competent people doing it. We need to understand.
That's an oversimplification of things.
But it is that simple. If there was, name one other part of government that's functioning competently right now.
Well, since they fired every competent person from most of the positions, I do not know if that is the case with the Secret Service, though, because being Secret Service isn't something that you can just become.
The head of the Secret Service that was there before Trump got into office, she resigned after the first assassination attempt, the Butler one. And that one, to me, it's obvious. Most of the violence, most of the political violence is coming from the right. They're coming from Trump and his people. Just like when January 6th happened, he wasn't worried. They wasn't coming after him. Those were his people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, insurrection, they're gonna come and take down the whole government. No, they're gonna come and get rid of my enemies. Mm-hmm. The Secret Service are, and this is just my opinion now, and based on the evidence and how shitty and how much nonsense, how many ridiculous events have been happening around his security. The fact is they're not prepared because they're like, look, these fucking hippies, tree huggers, and all the rest of that stuff, they're not the ones that usually kill people. And if you look at this is why they're having a hard time finding people that's really associated with any real political movement or anything like that. Because it's just these fucking maniacs that's just as angry as we are, but they have more guns and access to guns and maybe a little bit mentally imbalanced. Supposedly this Matthew Crooks, his parents were social workers, people that go out and help other people in the world, but in the home, completely fucked up, completely detached, completely emotionless.
Were they?
No attention. Yeah, I told you, we're gonna do a fucking
Well, you haven't said anything. You're
attempt.
talking about something that none of us have any idea about, that you talk about as if it's...
Matthew Crooks. Yeah, I looked into it. This is what happened to him.
Okay.
His parents were set to help people, children and young people, and people going through death and all the rest of these things. Help them to connect and get back to life. But within their family, all their neighbors, even the grandparents, supposedly his grandfather died or something to that effect. And the father of the family went and was like, okay, now that Pop is dead, y'all ain't gonna see us no more. We done. And it's not like they had beef, they're just odd people. And the more you look into this and you see how the mental makeup of these people can lead them to these situations.
I still fail to see how that would make somebody a would-be assassin, since he's a highly capable individual.
If you're locked into your own head, you have no friends.
He's educated himself in multiple different fields. Yeah. He's been working for I believe it was the Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Yeah.
And doing work with NASA as well.
This is the new guy. The one that just got assassinated. The one that just tried to kill Trump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's been doing all those things. But that's the person that would do something like this. You are tired. You have worked your ass off. You have become what society is telling you should be, what you should do. And then you see this fucking half brain dead fucking piece of shit fucking everything up. Taking away the value of your fucking degree, your diploma, your education, your fucking country. Well, your friends are going to fucking war because of this fucking piece of shit.
I have a question for you then. Because I don't know if you've seen, there's been reports of for 4 of these previous assassination attempts. There were
4. Which? What?
It's not just on Trump. These are for 4 of the assassinations in the United States where the name of that person, it was one, I believe, was in regards to the guards being shot outside the White House was one, I believe. And then in this case, with this new guy, my point is there was 12 hours before the event, coming from Israel, Google searches for the name of the perpetrator, which people are finding very odd. There are certain reasons being used for that, why that has happened. But when looking into how this is occurring 4 times in a row, it's hard to statistically accept that this is just noise.
That's such a random and in some ways unprovable fact. What is like, who has access to the Israeli, how do you say, search? Blah,
These
blah,
are
blah.
Google search trends.
But who?
Anybody can look up these search trends.
And you can find that one person from Google, from Israel, was searching for.
It's not
a
one
particular
person.
name?
It's a spike in search queries for that specific name that happened from
How much
Israel.
would that have to be? 10 people, 20 people, 100 people?
Well, so that's the point that some of the people trying to give an explanation for this, that could be random noise because nobody looks at that name. But the question remains, how are these names being searched 12 hours ahead of the event?
But this is what I mean. Where are we getting this piece of information from, this data
People
point?
have looked into the
What
Google
people?
search trends. People that have been, after the assassination attempt, noticed that these names have been
Searched
queried before.
So when we say they have been queried, okay, how many searches are we talking about?
4 in this case.
No. How many people have searched for this name for it to pop up? 1 person, 5 people, 500 people?
It's statistically more than previously had searched for that specific name because that's why the anomaly has popped up and why people have seen it.
Okay, so what you're saying is in 4 assassination attempts, before these people have done this attempt, their name has spiked, or searches for their name before this attempt has spiked from somewhere in Israel?
That is what it looks like has happened. And then why this has happened, then there's different reasons for that what may or may not have validity. We don't know.
So what you're saying is Israel is setting up false assassination attempts.
That's
If we're going to take it as far as we can possibly go with this.
That seems to be a potential possibility, yes.
Okay, and then based on the fact of Donald Trump's slow reaction, especially to this one, you're saying that he knew it was coming in particular, and because the guy that was sitting down eating the cake after it all happened.
That's just one thing, but
for example,
all of these things put together make it look like there was foreknowledge. And then there's another thing but this was cut off when a journalist was speaking about how, I believe, she was talking to the dad of, if I can forget what her name is.
Probably not Thomas Crooks, because his parents haven't given a fucking interview yet.
No, but we can look this up, because this is the thing. She was being told that by the father of somebody that he wanted her to be safe. And then as she was talking, the video cut.
This was a rep inside the press ball or press gala. Someone in the Trump organization would say, hey, be careful out there, blah, 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 blah. And then the phone call got cut off. Because when she was talking to Fox explaining that, it got cut off. But the person came back on and was like, that's not so odd. We have to follow up these things. Like, I've heard all these things, but it's like, then the person came back on and she continued the interview and she kept going, blah, blah,
She didn't
blah.
continue the interview. She came on after the fact when I was asked about it and said that what had happened was that he said that he wanted her to be safe.
Because of the general tone that's out there in general.
But we don't know that.
Because that's what she said when she continued reporting that. It still doesn't prove anything. People say be safe all the time.
Yeah, again, my point is, looking at all of these things that are odd, it is the reason why people are questioning the validity of this. Furthermore, the fact that he came out directly after and said that this is the reason why we need to build a ballroom because we need to be safe and secure, that is furthering the question of why.
But he's just an opportunist.
Again, it came out very opportune, and this all happened very close connected to when he was told that Congress needed to approve the building of the wing. And furthermore, since we are talking about that, we might as well move on to what is happening now because of this shooting. Because what has happened now is that there's been a government shutdown since the middle of February, where the Democrats and the Republicans were arguing over funding, specifically for ICE, where the Democrats demanded that ICE were removed out of this bill. And since TSA and all kinds of other groups were affected, they were forced to accept that. And then the government shutdown stopped. And what has happened now, because of this shooting, because they seem to have all of this legislation put into place very quickly for this to happen. Shooting happened 2 days later. They put in a new bill that is not only going to circumvent all of the things that the Democrats wanted to take out from this previous bill, but because the shooting has happened, Donald Trump previously said that the building of the ballroom was going to happen from private donors, and it was going to cost $200 million to begin with. And then he increased that spending to $400 million, still claiming that all of this was going to be done by private donors. The shooting happened. The bill getting introduced all of a sudden is, I forget the exact name of it, but it's some form of new type of bill that doesn't need to be completely voted on. So they don't need majority on this vote.
You always need a majority, but sometimes you need a supermajority.
There's, you can look this up. There's a specific type of additional bill that they're putting in that only needs 51 votes.
But that's a majority.
Huh?
That's a majority.
They don't need supermajority, which would be 60 votes.
Yeah.
So they only need minor majority, 51 votes to win this, which means they can circumvent all the Democrats and push this legislation through. And lo and behold, what is in this additional budget proposal? A budget proposal of $1 billion going for the security of the White House ballroom, where they're adding that this needs to be done for security purposes because specifically that this shooting happened. So once we start adding all of these discrepancies together, one after the other, then sure, it could have been a real assassination attempt, but looking at what has happened, cause and effect, it makes people like me question the validity of this.
I mean, you have to question everything, but you have to question...
No, but these are, I'm giving you the exact data points to why I'm specifically questioning it.
I understand, but I mean, can you think of a major... Let's stick with America. Can you think of a major American event where there wasn't some conspiracy built around it?
Wasn't?
Yeah. If we go back, let's say Kennedy assassination.
Kennedy assassination, people are saying they've looked frame for frame and they think that the driver turned around and shot him. One, and then there's another sniper in
the bushes. But we don't need to go into the conspiracies. I'm just saying there are conspiracies about that.
Yeah, but
there's conspiracies
the one
about...
you happen to point out happens to have been released now.
I'm going to the list.
Yeah,
I'm going to the list.
Okay.
All right. There was that. There's, let's say the next biggest event was, let's say, Martin Luther King. There's really not really no conspiracy around that, though, actually, when I think
there
about it.
probably is.
Well, King died before Kennedy, so let's start from Kennedy. To keep it 100%, let's start from Kennedy. Kennedy's brother died. There was no conspiracy about that because they call him Sirhan. Sirhan is actually in prison. I think he's about to get out, if I'm not wrong.
I don't know.
Sirhan is the guy that killed Robert Kennedy, who's John Kennedy's brother. Then after that, let's say, what's the next big tragedy you had was Vietnam. Vietnam was maybe caused because these motherfuckers went in because of the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah, Gulf of Tonkin.
That was some conspiracy shit. After that, what you got?
Yeah, but that was also proven to be true.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm saying conspiracy.
Okay. Well, when you say it like that, it made it sound like you meant that these were things that were not proven.
Just because I don't accept the story, whether the full story, the story that's being told, or the conspiracies, doesn't mean that there's not a conspiracy.
No, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it like the things that I've been shown so far don't lead me further than the idea that these people are just fucking pissed off. Because I know me personally, how I feel, having grown up in the system, having been told these stories about what you need to do to succeed, about what you need, how much education you need to have, the type of person you need to be, the type of fucking morals you need to have, the values you need to have, and then to see literally every piece of that construction, every piece of those ideas that they fucking fed us since we were children, being fucking pissed on. It is incredibly frustrating to me. And I live in another fucking country now. I wasn't even born in America. I'm not even an American citizen.
Yeah.
And I feel betrayed. You know what I mean? I am not sure I completely understand. I'm not for violence. I do not condone violence in any way. I don't think you should even beat your motherfucking children. You know what I mean? But I think I understand why these people react like this. When fucking Charlie Kirk and his fucking ugly ass face and his fucking dumbass ideas sits there and talks about fucking black pilots and how fucking one of the most qualified people ever to sit on the fucking Supreme Court only got the spot because she was fucking a black woman, that shit makes me fucking boil inside. If I had the fucking opportunity to blow this motherfucker's head off, maybe I would do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Even though I'm against violence, but I'm like, yo, this motherfucker coming to my school, I'm a little bit depressed right now, my girlfriend just broke up with me, bang, bang, you know what I'm saying?
Those are
I
not
can
things that
take
you should be
that thought.
saying on camera.
I'm not gonna do it. I haven't done it, but I understand how people could
I
do
don't
it.
think you understand the ramifications
Of saying that I understand murderers?
Specifically not that, but you specifically said that you might, because you were mad. You just literally said because you were mad that something he said offended you, that you may potentially have done or committed such a crime. I don't think you understand the ramifications. I don't think you understand what people are now using. This leads me further into another thing that's happened in the United States, because I am not sure if he has understood this.
Okay.
A student texted other students in a student group, and she joked about Netanyahu should bomb them, and she is now facing jail for the joke in a fucking WhatsApp text. And this is real.
Okay.
This is happening. And if you can go to jail for a joke you made in a WhatsApp text group,
so I can't hypothetically say anymore, in this world that we live in 2026, I can't hypothetically say that I understand how this fucking completely fucked up situation might lead someone to violence?
No, because in the rest of the world, if you support Palestine now, you are labeled a terrorist.
You know what,
they have arrested.
I'm not going to live in that world where I can't say what I did.
I'm not arguing with you about that, but these are the ramifications of what this new world order has been moving towards, which is scary. Because again, in the United States, what they have done with this new bill, I don't remember if it's Bill 1156
if they
or whatever.
Come get me, y'all know why.
Well, that's the point. So in the United States, since we need to stick to that at this point in time, in the United States, everybody who is anti-capitalist, anti-Christian, LGBTQ, extremist or one way or the other, something that is going against Trump, is now being labeled a domestic terrorist. And it went so far that ICE agents have been caught on video stating to people, you are now in a database labeled a domestic terrorist, for just saying something to an ICE agent. So I don't think you understand where this world has been heading.
I do understand it, but I'm not playing the game.
I don't want to play that game either, but this is where we're at right now. And even because I don't think it's happened in Sweden yet, but I know that they're doing it in the UK. They arrested a bunch of people.
2,700 so far.
In the UK, who were pro-Palestine, pretty much.
No, but it's not necessarily pro-Palestine. What it is there's a action group called Palestinian Action Group or something to that effect.
Yeah, but that's not the 2,700.
Yeah, it is. They have been banned terrorist organization. Anytime someone goes out with a placard, is it placard? I haven't used that word in a long time. A sign saying, I support Palestinian action, they're taking that as supporting a terrorist organization, and those are the people that's getting arrested.
Yeah, but those people are not part of that group because that group has
whenever you use that
specifically
word,
gone and done things that have a judge has labeled them not domestic terrorists.
Exactly.
But it was
all these things are being fought against. All these.
Yeah, but again,
arrests.
my point was that they are not actually part of that, but they're saying something that has been considered pro-Palestine and then being labeled part of this group that's been labeled to be terrorists, even though they are not part of that.
Yes.
And this is also
it's not like a random thing. They're not saying by supporting Palestine, you're a terrorist. They're linking support for Palestine with a terrorist organization.
Yeah, but that's pretty much the
and
same
that's what
thing.
they're getting arrested for.
That's the same thing.
There's a subtle difference.
No, but you have to accept what you just said. They aren't actually part of that group.
It's not if you go out with a sign that says "Free Palestine," you'll get arrested. It's I support Palestine
Right
action.
to protect what?
I support Palestinian action. It's a specific phrase that you're not allowed to say.
We might have to look that up and put that in the infographic because, as far as I understood, it's people who are for Palestine defending itself and not necessarily connecting the signs to that group. So that is something that we need to look up.
I did look it up.
And then put it in the infographic.
I did. Have you seen the last episode?
I haven't had time. I've been busy doing other shit. But is it in there?
Yes.
I don't remember us talking about that.
We talked about that. Yeah. You mentioned that people are getting arrested, and I found it fucking incredible that in a fucking so-called Western country where we, all about speech and, people have freedom and rights, that 2,700 people didn't do anything wrong, didn't beat up anybody, didn't burn down no fucking hotels like they've been doing in fucking England. But these people, just simply for making a statement in supposed support of an organization or something that could be seen as support for an organization.
Yeah, but again, that's my point, because I've seen old people being arrested, and we just have to make the distinction because in what I saw, they were not in any way saying anything connected to that group. They were for Palestine, or the pro-Palestine. And then if the UK government decided, because even the judges in the UK said that this isn't a terrorist organization, we can't actually go after them for that. So these 2,700 people being arrested, to me, it's news that they were being connected to that group that a judge himself said isn't actually a terrorist organization.
You say something, I had researched it.
I'm just saying,
information.
yeah, but again,
you add to it.
We'll just have to put this out there because I've seen you put some things in the infographic that I do not agree with, because I have done further research that showed that after looking at something initially, specifically with the AI things, it comes up, says one thing, but that is not the whole truth. And when you push it further to look at, because for example, I'll just bring this up as an example of what I'm talking about. So I watched a reel which said that Biden had taken 10 million from supporters of AIPAC and Donald Trump had taken 230 million. So I asked the AI, and then it started telling me that there's one specific donor, I forget her name, but she has donated 106 million. And then it refused to acknowledge the 230 million, said that I'm conflating two different events. And when I said, no, I'm not, I want you to tell me specifically which donors connected to AIPAC, not AIPAC specifically, connected to AIPAC. Yeah. And it kept pushing against me that I was wrong until I forced it to go, no, look at every donor that has any form of connection. And then it went, oh yeah, no, you're right, because this was Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe, that brought this up and showcased the exact amount by the different donors, and then it put the exact amount of donors up to me that it previously for 5 different times told me I was wrong with, but then all of a sudden after I pushed it, it came through with the correct information that I knew was true, but it pushed back at me multiple times until I forced it to go and dig through the information out there. So I'm just saying that, in my opinion, I have seen certain things that were on the surface when looking at it. This is, which I understand why you put it out, but when you push through certain things, there is underlying information out there that we might not have dug up properly. And this is just...
First and foremost, every single person watching this, part of why we're doing this is to definitely expose certain ideas and open your mind to something. I am not a guru. This show is not the only source of information. If you see something you're interested in it, please look further into it.
Please do
we are
your
not
own
going to
research.
guarantee you 100% factual information. As you see, when you watch the episodes, we do fact check what we're saying, but we have limited resources and also limited time.
Yeah,
It takes me
100%.
about 12 hours minimum to edit a 1 hour show. So do your research, look into it. We'll
Yeah.
try to be as factual and as right on as possible.
Yeah.
But the more y'all like, subscribe, and follow us, and the bigger we grow, the more people we can bring on, and then we can get closer and closer to as factual as possible. But as it is for right now, if y'all see something, y'all think it ain't real, look it up.
Put it in the comments if you see something that you think that we're saying that needs to be addressed or looked into more. Also, yeah, we aren't an actual news organization.
Exactly.
We are talking about
Bunch of
our
motherfuckers talking
opinions
shit.
based on things that we have seen. And as we previously have noted, some of these things that we're talking about, I have had that issue specifically that I've seen things and I'm talking about that
You
I
know what
haven't.
was completely wrong that we talked about last time?
No.
Netanyahu and this motherfucker from Argentina.
I know that.
are
I saw
not
that.
related.
I
was
know
like,
that. I saw that.
Oh, we
I
spent
saw
like a
that.
good 15 minutes. Oh,
No, but
maybe
that
15
doesn't
minutes.
matter.
A good 3 or 4 minutes talking about
Yeah,
it.
but you did put that in.
Yeah,
That's
of
great.
course.
So again, as he's stating, we are trying our best to look into what we're talking about. But unfortunately, as I'm pointing out now, some of these things, when you look at it on the surface, initially say something, but when you dig deeper, something else comes out, which is what I've been trying
No,
to...
but I leave
Well,
links. I look for links. I don't only
but
go from what
that
says.
was my point. My
Okay.
point is that's what I want to have a specific episode where I delve into what I have come to find when it comes to 9/11. That was pretty interesting to me.
That should
Because
be a lot of fun.
no, and it will, because I'm not going
agree.
to. I'm not going to say something any which one way or the other. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to present to you, the viewer, all the data that is there, the data that I have extrapolated with sources and everything, and then you can yourself look into the same thing, and you can make up your own mind of what happened. Same thing. I'm going to present a case for the Charlie Kirk assassination, and it's the same thing. I'm presenting the data I found, and then whatever decisions you want to make from that, that's on your own terms. I'm only going to present something that I found after digging through and finding out some interesting, to me, situations that have occurred that made me question the official narrative.
I think we should always question the official narrative, but at the same time, we shouldn't jump to conclusions.
That's not what I did.
Me personally,
Yeah.
I am also doubtful about the official 9/11 story, to be honest with you. I used to be a bike messenger. Maybe I told you this before, but I used to be a bike messenger in New York. I used to deliver it to the World Trade Center.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have to take them sometimes we had to switch elevators because it's a pretty old building. So maybe you take the elevator up to maybe like the 30th floor, then you have to switch to a different elevator, go up to like the 60th floor, then switch to another elevator, go up to the 80-something floor. I don't remember how high I've been, but I've been in the Twin Towers, I've been in countless amount of times. The other building I was also in, specifically, that even more than the Twin Towers, was Building 7. Because American Express had their head office there.
Yeah.
And our company had a contract specifically with American Express. So I was there maybe 6 times a week. I mean, I worked 5 days, so some days we were there twice, but at least once a day on average. And to me, that building falling after not getting hit and after being at a relatively far distance away from the other two buildings is the one that concerns me the most. And especially when you look at the fact that all 3 buildings, there's never been a skyscraper that's fallen before from fire. To me, those things are it's going to be very difficult for someone to convince me otherwise.
Again, this is the
So I'm not
information
saying-
that I've pulled out that I
I'm with you.
very much want to present in a specific episode where I have all of these things printed out so I can actually show you what I've found instead of just having this as a discussion.
I think it's brilliant. I think that's what we should do. I mean, I think it's good that we have this conversation sometimes and it's loose because I'm not trying to be a fucking scholar. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit here and be tight because I think a lot of what's wrong with people, a lot of why Trump is so popular is because he speaks simply. You know what I mean? We look at it like he's speaking like a fucking idiot because we're not used to people of that stature being so incredibly uneducated and incapable of expressing themselves at any mature level. But he relates to the people. People see themselves in him, or at least they don't have to struggle too hard to understand what he's saying. You know what I mean? So on some levels, you know, I'm not a fucking scholar. I want to use my authentic self and the way that I go through things and the way that I look at things to express and to connect with the people that's out there.
So, moving on from that, I saw...
Just switch up they don't care about your feelings side. Sorry,
Fuck your
guys.
feelings. No.
Fuck your feelings.
No, I definitely care about your feelings, but I wanted to bring up something that I was just thinking about that was of interest
While I was speaking.
while you were speaking. Sorry. No, because what I just saw was a video with the general of MAGA, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She was now. She gone.
I know,
Margie
but
gone.
I'm going to tell you why she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it has come to my attention through a video she put out herself that one of the reasons why she voted for him and many others did was that he himself was saying that we need to release the Epstein files. There's going to be a lot of Democrats in there, and we need to find out the truth about this. Yeah. So when she got in his inner circle, there was a Democrat-led petition to release the files that she signed, and then she got a phone call from Donald
Yes,
J.
this was a story.
Trump.
Yeah, sorry.
This is her saying it.
Yeah, I've heard
So it coming from her own mouth is what makes it, for me at least, credible.
But keep talking what happened, because maybe they haven't.
What happened, according to her, was she signed this petition demanding that they release the Epstein files. And then Mr. Trump, Donnie, called her saying that you need to remove your name from this petition because a lot of my friends are going to get hurt if any of this comes out.
Just asking for a friend. We've heard that before.
No, and then she was like, but what do you mean? A lot of your friends, this is supposed to be a bunch of Democrats in there, in which you said that you wanted to release. And like, what are you talking about? Your friends are going to get hurt. And he was like, well, you have to remove your name from this. And then when she didn't want to remove her name, that's when shit hit the fan for her, and why she is subsequently ousted from the inner circle. And this is why she has now turned completely against Trump, and why many other MAGAs are turning against him, because it went 180 from him saying this is...
Because motherfuckers can't, at the least you cannot support a fucking pedophile. Oh, we're so shocked that people are turning their back on him. I'm shocked at people that don't turn their backs on him. That's what's most shocking.
Yeah, because there's even more things coming out. I don't know if you know, there have been court cases where they're using the rape of a 14 or 16-year-old, or maybe it's 14 and 16-year-old girls been raped, and they've been using that in other court cases, which specifically state that he was the perpetrator in these. Yeah. And this is another thing where people are like, these documents have been used, they have been submitted.
Is there a statute of limitations on rape?
I do not know, to be honest.
There is actually, because that's why E. Jean Carroll sued him for assault instead of rape. I think, either way. Yeah, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, so the fact that he is a rapist, pedophile, is out there, documented, been used in other cases against Ghislaine Maxwell for one.
Yes.
So this is why it became like, well, this is real. They used this specifically against Ghislaine Maxwell. So like, why is this now being brushed away? We know that these things have been in the court system already.
I had my first defense of the show, of the podcast, yesterday.
What do you mean?
I got a message from someone I know and someone I like, someone I respect on some levels. We've never actually talked about politics before. But he, how do I say this without, I'm just gonna say it. But anyhow, his idea was that we need to be a bit more reaching out to other people. Like, we need to not alienate people. Like, he was like, why is the show called Dunking on Donnie? Don't you think people that like support Donald Trump are not gonna watch because you guys are insulting him? I'm like, I don't care.
Well, I would agree with him in that we do need to actually listen to the other side. We need to understand why they think what they do. No, but I'm saying that he might have a point. I don't think we should change our name, because this is the thing. I want the other side. I listen
to them. It's okay if they don't listen to me.
Yeah, but
I want to know what's going on with them.
I agree that we should invite other people with. Well, we were talking about doing this, but right now we're just in the beginning phase of this. We are trying to figure out the format and everything. We do want to invite other people with opinions that differ from ours onto the show. So
I want to invite them so I can dunk on them. Keep on talking.
He wants to do that. I want to invite them so that, one, their voice is heard. Two, we can maybe understand where they're coming from.
Hold on a second.
Let me just finish.
No. You said, let me get specific there, because you said so they can have their voices heard. If someone comes on the show and is homophobic, do you think we should let him speak and explain why he's homophobic, and then agree to disagree with his homophobia, for example?
I feel that they have the right to express their opinions if they have them, and we have the right
to dunk on them.
If that's what you want to do, but let me. I've tried to explain this to you multiple times. No, but if you're trying to actually bridge the divide, I know that you aren't, but I'm questioning why are you doing this if you don't want to bridge the divide?
Dunk on people.
But
look. When I was young, right? I use a basketball reference. When I was young, I used to play. One of the reasons why I'm still slim and trim is because I played basketball in the middle of the summer, in the hottest times of the day. Mm-hmm. Because when the older kids came, when the sun went down, that's when the older kids came. And us younger kids, we had to get off the court, or we would get dunked on. We knew our places. We knew we weren't capable of hanging with those older kids. So we stayed in the background, we, waited till we grew a little bit, we practiced our skills, and then we tried to play with the older kids. If someone's gonna come in here and try to tell me that Donald Trump is a viable leader of any country, they are not on my level. If someone's gonna come in here and tell me a gay person or a woman or a fucking Arab or whoever the fuck else in the world is of less value to them simply because of that definition, there's nothing I want to do with this person except make them look stupid. Yeah, but there's no in between. We're not gonna come to some kind of compromise. We're not gonna agree to disagree. Every time I see this person, every time they open their mouth about that, I am going to try to shut them down with fucking shame.
Okay, well, that's why I'm doing but before I respond to that,
sorry, I get excited.
No, you can have your opinion, whatever you want, but I want to ask you a question.
Yes, please do.
What do you think you're going to gain by that?
Look, back to what we were saying. When you were playing basketball as a young kid, and every time you try to go up to a shot, someone was throwing that shot back at you. Every time you try to dunk, someone was blocking your dunk. Every time you stand on the basket, someone was dunking on you. Eventually, you started to realize, you know what? I can't play basketball with these people. I'm not ready for this game. And that's what I want these people to realize by themselves. Because obviously, this guy was telling me, right? He was like, oh, but you're just saying Trump's a rapist, Trump's a thief, blah, blah, blah. You're not giving them. I'm like, everyone knows this. If you want information about this person, that information has been out there for years. What the fuck am I going to tell them is going to change that? All I'm gonna do is when they try to tell me the shit that they fucking should have learned already, I'll embarrass them for saying that shit. If you're fucking racist, I'm gonna embarrass you for being a fucking racist. How fucking dare you try to fucking sit here with me and tell me that I am not equal to you because of the fucking color of my skin?
But again, my question to you is, what do you think you're gaining by having that mentality?
I feel better. Remember the back to the same thing, the boot walker thing. I can go to bed knowing that
Alright.
I fucking told
Okay.
a racist that you are a fucking
Well,
idiot.
Good for you then. Clap, clap, clap.
Thank
but
you.
is that actually what your goal is? To
Yes.
just make somebody feel worse instead of trying to have them
I
think
feel
about...
better from that.
Okay, now let me rebuke then. So if that is where your standpoint is, my standpoint is different, because I would like for me to have a conversation with people like that, and then one, try to understand where they're coming from, two, shine a light on that what they are saying is something that isn't really furthering us as a species in a positive direction. And like I would want to...
Do you think most racists know that they're racist?
As we talked about before, there's again, like I've been having, I'll talk about this in a second. I know that most racists don't necessarily think that they are racist, but as we talked
So
about
when
in the
it gets
previous
slammed
episode,
in your fucking face
No,
by
this
some
is-
angry black dude,
They-
instead of coaching you, oh, poor baby, sucking my titty, and I'll fucking try to ease you
Well,
down.
do you
No,
want
people
to-
are dying, bro.
again, you're
People
being...
are losing their rights right now.
Yeah, but the way that you're going about it, I've already explained this to you. Psychologically, people dig in to whatever their ideas are.
Be
When
more racist. Go
they-
ahead. Be more racist.
it has
Be more
nothing to
fucking
do-
stupid.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
When this world turns,
It
you will
has
be
to
on
do
the other
with
side.
your inability to relate to them. They think that since you're attacking them, there's no way that you can listen or have
see how
any
weird that
common
is?
ground.
You see how
it's
weird
not
that
at
is?
all weird.
That's
'cause
super
I
weird,
just
bro.
went through this today where I was talking about this with somebody because I wanted to ask, why are you thinking like this?
Why are you so racist?
That is your way of looking at it.
was-
I wanted to know what is possessing you to think in the way that you do. And as they were explaining to me why they were thinking, I was looking up all the
Fucking
details.
stupid.
That is your way of looking at it. And
What
I'm
in
gonna,
racism
I'm gonna,
makes
I'm
sense?
gonna continue saying this to you because you're very hard-headed
I
and
know.
you
I'm stuck to
refuse
this.
refuse to acknowledge
Completely.
the fact that
That racists are stupid.
it has nothing to do with racist or stupid. It
What
has
in
to do
racism
with
makes sense?
people think different things
What in
differently.
racism makes sense? What in racism is
That
functional?
isn't the fucking point. The point is that people think differently, and if you want to have any opportunity of swaying somebody,
I'm not
you
trying to sway
can't.
nobody.
I know, but that is why I look at you and I just shake my head.
Good.
Because I don't understand.
You can be the good guy.
I don't understand how you can think, because that is equally racist. You're just being counter-racist to somebody.
I'm not hating someone
You
because
are
of the color of their
literally
skin.
saying that you want to dunk
the co-
on them. You want to make them feel
Because
small.
of their dumbass ideas.
Yeah,
yes.
but instead, why would you
Would,
not
would
want
they not
to...
dunk on me if they have the opportunity? Would
I
they
have
would they
no
hire me
idea.
for a job if they have the
I
opportunity?
don't know, since you're showing them
A
in their
person-
mind that what you're showing them
Bro.
is something that is
Bro.
being aggressive. You're not
Bro.
trying to relate to
Bro.
them. In their
Bro.
mind, you're
Bro.
just furthering their
Me
racism by
to
talking
them,
like that.
Me talking to them in a certain way has little or no effect on their on their reality. They
That's wrong.
Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying to you. They can choose to listen or they can choose not to listen. At the end of the day, they will still have the motherfucking job they want. They will still have the fucking the life they want. Their ideas in that way don't affect their life in
How
any
do you
way.
know that?
Let me finish what I'm saying. If I go to a job interview and I meet this person, then they have these ideas. They now have control over what the fuck is going on with me. There's no situation where my lack of desire for them or my understanding of the situation has any real substantial effect on them. If I can talk shit about you as much as I want, I can say you're an idiot, you're an asshole, you this, you that, this, that. If I don't have any power over you, if I'm not the one making the decisions on whether your life gets pushed forward or not, it's irrelevant.
I'm telling you that science proves beyond a shadow
know
of a
this.
doubt. You don't.
Yes.
'Cause
When you're being attacked, when your ideas are being questioned, your brain chemically reacts in the same way as if you're physically being attacked. Your
if you
mind
know
does not
this-
know the difference.
If you know this and you do not want to
Back
change
to the
your
story
demeanor,
of Bootwalker. Remember that motherfucker calling that
yeah, but do
motherfucker
you
nigga getting
remember
punched
the
in the
guy
face a
that I
bunch
was
of
telling you
times?
about who collects Ku Klux Klan hoods?
You can be that guy, and I can be this guy.
I'm telling you that your way of looking at that is not going to gain you any favors, and
It's
you're not actually going
cathartic.
to. No, but it's,
Cathartic. It
what
really-
the
it
fuck
makes
do you
me
care?
feel
why,
better.
Why would you not want to make actual change instead of just
if that
being
happens,
a
fine.
bastard
If that
and
happens,
attack
great.
somebody? Why would you not want to work towards bridging a divide? Why would you not
do you think
want
these
to do
racists
that?
want to do that? Do you think they want to bridge
I
the
am
divide with
going
me?
to try and talk to them as
Do
I've
you think that
always done.
do you think that's their intention right now?
Again, as I was trying to tell you, I have just had this discussion today
Yes.
where it's been clear to me that some people who do not consider themselves racist and who are by definition not racist have certain opinions that they based on what they have experienced.
You mean they have racist opinions?
They're not racist.
They themselves aren't racist, or the ideas aren't racist? What are you saying?
They have, in their opinion, been
So whose opinions matter?
treated.
Whose opinion matters
Everybody's
most?
opinion matters.
No,
and
no, no,
if-
no, no. In a situation of being racist or not, whose opinion matters most? The person that's doing the act, or the person that's experiencing that thing being done
But
to
you
them?
seem to think that the only people who are racist are white people.
What?
Well, that's how you come off when you talk about
When?
this all the fucking
How?
time.
Well, have I ever said
'Cause you
anything
still
specifically
start
about white
talking
people?
well, you start speaking about you being a black person and that
Because this
some
is
people
my
are
experience.
treating you.
Yes, people treat me because based on my blackness, without getting to know me, without getting to understand me, without knowing anything about me, they act a certain way towards me based on my race. 100%. Can you deny that? I know.
I don't know.
I know.
I seem to.
You don't think that's possible?
It's possible, but
You don't
I
think it happens in this world?
I do because I've also experienced it.
Exactly. So my reaction to that now is not defined by this person treating me this way. However this person treats me, I, based on my experience, based on who I am, have the right to react however I want to. When I'm in public, like the last few times I've been called nigga to my face, I felt sorry for that person. I feel like, oh my God, you are so fucking unevolved and so backwards, and you are destroying your life with this fucking hate. I have no love for this person. I have no patience for this person. I have barely a little bit of, I look down on them.
All right, so I'm going to explain something to you. I was in a forum, this is many, many years ago.
And I'm not saying, hold on a second, let me get very specific. I'm not saying because of someone's skin color. I'm saying because of someone's behavior and their actual ideas. Every human being I meet, we start over from zero. I care about you like I would care about anybody else. I got some food, I'll give you some food. I got some water, we can share everything. If you act like an asshole, you lose points. You start being racist, misogynistic, you losing every fucking thing. And granted, I know many people, very close friends, who have racist ideas. I know women who have black children that have racist ideas. I had this woman say to me once, "You don't love yourself. You don't love your culture." Why you say that, girl? You don't listen to hip hop and reggae music. You go to techno parties. You don't love yourself. This woman has black children now.
But house and techno came from the black community. What the fuck she talking about?
The level of ignorance in that statement is compounded. But the fact is, this woman has black children now. What the fuck is she telling her children? It bothers me without end. And that is a racist thing to say, but she's obviously not racist. I think she's probably still together with the guy. In her mind, she's not racist, but she's had these things are so fucking ingrained in her sometimes that it's impossible to get rid of. Now, this is someone I know, but at some point, when I see her, I'm gonna take up the conversation, and if she feels hurt by it, deal with it. Deal with it.
Okay.
Because it's better that you feel hurt by it than you go around and scar these fucking children that you have for the next 20, 30 years. Make them feel like on some levels, they're either locked into a certain culture or certain ideas. I'm like, yo, when you're mixed, you are both.
I know, I am mixed.
It's fantastic. You have so many more options. Why are you gonna fucking have your children and be like, no, y'all are black kids, you're only supposed to do this and blah, 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 or white kids? No, you are everything. First of all, every child should have the opportunity to do whatever the fuck they want. But if you want to be specific and be, oh, this is our culture, you are now open to so much more in the culture.
I agree. I'm half white, half brown. I consider myself brown more than white, but my friends consider me white. I'm in America, and here I've been both. But let me just end off with this thing, because this is an example of something that I did where I know it's possible to have an effect on somebody's opinion.
I know it's possible. I've had it. I've done it.
You
but this is how I'm going to do it.
Story.
Sorry,
Good for you.
Sorry.
I know that you're a pig-headed pig fucker.
I'm not.
just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm relaxed. I'm open-minded enough about when I need to be open-minded. There are some things that are untouchable.
You just come off like a bit of a.
Yes, bruh. We have to stand up for ourselves.
I'm
sometimes.
not arguing with you about that,
Sorry,
but let me just end off with this story.
Give me a racism. Why are we ending? Oh, it's already an hour?
Yeah.
All right, cool, guy.
Any which way. So I used to be in a forum back in the day. It was called opium.se. It was a very fun place and time. It was very insane. There was a lot of racist bastards on there. And I love discussing with racists. That's not the point. Now, the point is, one night, a person came on the forum, and he's like, I just got fucking robbed by this goddamn Turk, blah, 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 blah. And fucking everyone's like, yeah, fucking immigrant, rah, rah, rah. And I felt the need to tell this guy, well, just hold on now. I understand how you feel, but you don't know who that person is. You don't know what he was going through. Just the mere fact that he was an immigrant might not have to have so much to do with what happened. He might have been in so much trouble. He might have been this and that or the other, but the mere fact that I was willing to engage with this guy and explain to him that there are certain aspects of this that you aren't taking into account, that you're just putting on his face, that you don't know, is not looking at the greater picture. And everyone else says, no, fucking immigrant. But this guy that I was talking to, the one who got robbed, specifically after we were done talking, told everyone, no, but he's right. And thank you for saying that to me, because I wasn't thinking like that. I was looking at his face, and that was all that came to me. But now, after having talked to you about this, I'm realizing that there might have been other things in effect that I haven't even considered. So, thank you for saying that to me. That made me change my outlook on this specific situation. And that is why I'm coming from the standpoint that I am.
Granted, I completely understand it. I don't say anything wrong with it. I don't begrudge you for it. What I'm saying is, since 2016, I've been dealing with this. I've been conversing with people. I've been going back and forth. I've been talking to people. And I've now realized that none of these things, none of these people, they're not doing these things for sensible reasons. So therefore, I'm not going to be sensible with them. It's just my approach. I'm going to use the same childish behavior that they are using to simply shame them, hopefully into change. But if not, I'll tell you what. When Charlie Kirk died, I had both people that was like, they said one person that I know actually compared Charlie Kirk to Martin Luther King. And I found that to be insulting. Not only did he compare Charlie Kirk to Martin Luther King, but or it could have been Malcolm X. I don't know which one. I'm like, you should not be a part of this fucking conversation if you don't know the difference between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
That's the first part of it. Another person that I'm going to say his name actually, because he actually said that he wanted me to say his name before when it happened, but I didn't. My boy Dimitri. I appreciate this happening. So he posted this thing, oh, we lost a hero, Charlie Kirk. This Charlie Kirk, a quote of something he wrote. Oh, maybe you mean this Charlie Kirk when he talked about the black women. Oh, you mean this Charlie Kirk when he's talking about guns. Oh, you mean that Charlie Kirk. And I just left it at that. And it's like, oh, but you know, he said some good things. So I was like, I'm not even gonna have this discussion. Next morning I woke up and I see a voice message from Dimitri. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with this now. This is such an obvious, not something you should be fucking, not a hill you should die on, because this guy's an obvious fucking idiot racist. And this Dimitri, I think it's Dimitri, so he's from somewhere Eastern Europe, I would assume. Sorry, bro, I don't remember where you're from. But either way, After about an hour, I was like, I guess I gotta listen to this fucking voice message. And he was like, yo, Ty, bro, I'm sorry, man. I fucking did some research. And, you know, after looking into this guy, you were right. And I took down the post. Bruh, I almost cried.
Well, so there you proved yourself.
But I did not go about it in no fucking, I'm not trying to fucking baby these people. I'm gonna fucking express my opinion exactly how the fuck I want to without sugarcoating anything.
Sure.
And if you can't fucking deal with it, that's your problem.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It'd be wonderful if we could all change. I'm not just yelling for yelling's sake. I'm yelling first and foremost because I need to get this off my chest. I'm hoping that people who don't have the proper information will get some information from me, do their own research, and come to better conclusions. But the people who are locked in, the fucking Trump supporters, they should have fucking deserted this motherfucker years ago.
They're deserting him now, so
In some levels, this is my way of practicing humility that I am not dealing with them. This is my humbleness. I don't think I'm gonna change you. I don't have that power. I'm not strong enough. Don't you realize it? I'm not fucking strong enough.
That was funny.
I realize that. Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave him alone. You keep doing your shit. I'm just gonna keep telling you how fucking stupid your shit is. I don't want to change you. I can't change you. I know you're too powerful for me, Donnie. You're too good for me. You and your followers. You and your fucking cult. I ain't no cult leader. I'm just a fucking average dude.
Well, on a good note, that motherfucker's approval rating is very fucking low.
I think it's like 32, 31 the last time I saw it.
It's as low as it's been before, I believe. I could be wrong.
Yes. Because it's always been around 40, 38.
No, it's been higher than that before.
No, but I mean, the lowest has been it's like 40%.
He is the lowest rated president in America's history, I believe.
The dumbest president by far. I can't, not any person that I ever read about. Maybe there was this motherfucker that switched over from the gold, no, that was Nixon. But Nixon wasn't so great. Nixon was racist also. But we have like a Watergate a month. This motherfucker's doing enough things to get him impeached on the same level of high crimes and misdemeanor as Richard Nixon did.
But he's way worse.
Every 2 weeks. Right now, this whole thing that's happening, it's not an impeachable offense, but he had 60 days to stop the hostilities in Iran or to get approval from Congress. None of that's happening.
Yeah, they have...
They're changing the dates. They do all types of crazy shit.
Yeah, they're putting forth more impeachment clauses now.
Unless you are a complete buffoon or you don't agree with anything that the United States, any ground base that this country is made on, you should not be supporting this person at this point. Mm-hmm. So again, this is me being humble and understanding that I'm not gonna change y'all. I'm just gonna talk to the other people on the side and scare them away from y'all. Cause I met this guy this weekend. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. A friend of mine, but he's, super conspiracy guy talking about COVID still and all this. Oh, millions of people have died from the vaccine. Bro, you don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Millions of people have not died from the COVID vaccine. But anyhow, he's going around, blah, blah. Me and him are talking. After a while, he's like, yeah, I want to talk to you tomorrow. I'm like, all right, fuck you. Don't talk to me no more. But I see him going around and kind of recruiting, talking to like the younger kids and all that stuff. Every time I saw him, he was talking to somebody. I was like, don't believe nothing he's saying. He's just leading you astray. And if I could be that guy, I'm just the voice in the background that's fucking charismatic enough and loud enough to tell y'all, don't let other motherfuckers lead you astray. Not even me. Like we keep saying, check the facts, do your own shit.
Yeah, check the facts.
But don't let these people lead you astray. If I could do that, I'm good. I don't need to convince nobody. I don't need to change no fucking minds. I just make sure the people that aren't led astray don't get led astray.
In the meantime, we will yell at you to change your minds. So, on that note, I'm Zen Zero.
Ty Style.
We out.
Peace. I love it. I love getting angry.
I know.